You know? You know, and I was just thinking about that. It's just like, the Amish, who taught us, when their children were murdered, they prayed for the murderer in his family house. And I take my thought to them all the time when I can't get off of my stuff. With such humility. See, that's the first commandment and the rule in action. And nobody's exempt. So now I'm going back to 1998 and I'm looking in terms of what we've been learning so far. First of all, the situation, as best as my senses can take it, there is a rock, there's a broken window. Then my mind comes in. Next layer, it starts interpreting all. It can lay any kind of meaning onto it, and you just saw how it did. Then I have to raise up into my understanding and look consciously into what I want to place on the situation that will help me feel like a redwood centered in truth, and maybe access even higher my compassion, and witness. Maybe even inquire what must be shaping the mind that held the hand that threw the stone, And then the personal value for me is to see, here's my opportunity. Here's where the advanced curriculum is. I get to refuse to pick up the stone and throw it back with matched anger and violence. I want to. I can't do it. Not if I'm going to call myself a metaphysician. Wow. And instead, then, from that witnessing perspective, I get to see somebody, apart from me, somebody needs a prayer today. Every day. It's confusing, and don't even know how to approach it sometimes. So I go to the paraphrased Bible. I'm getting all biblical on you today. Maybe it balance out all of that Bhagavad Gita, huh? I'm getting all New Testament on you over here. Romans in the paraphrased Bible, 8:26, it says something like this. The Holy Spirit helps us with our daily problems and in our praying. For we don't even know what we should pray for, nor how to pray as we should. But the Holy Spirit prays for us with such feeling that it cannot be expressed in words. And Spirit, of course, knows what is being prayed for. See, I love that because at times when I'm deeply troubled, I realize I don't know what to pray, and I don't need to know what to pray for immediately. It's not like there's some referee watching. Oh, you don't know what to pray for? I don't even need to know how to pray. There's 5 steps of truth. Of course there are. But sometimes you're not going to know that. What then do you need to know? To keep your attention on the truth. To take in the first commandment. To keep your mind on truth and not on what is wrong. To keep your mind on God and not on what they did. I need to give my attention to God. And you know what I'm finding? Is when I do that and I spend more time, I give my attention to the wholeness, to truth, to love, to reality, something wells up inside me that words cannot describe. The ecstasy that comes from accepting truth, reality. The ecstasy that comes from being utterly vulnerable to reality, to what is, just the way that it is. The relief from giving up the fight. "1998 was a good year for practicing this kind of thing. I remember it clearly. That same year, somebody, we don't know who, we don't even know why, or how. Somebody called up a bunch of people in the church, pretending to be from the church administration, and said to these folk on the phone, I'm from the Center for Spiritual Living, and because of your attitude, we don't want you to come back. So please respect our wishes. Oh, I see you reacted somewhat like me. I assure you, I did not react like a redwood tree. But once again, there it was, nearly tricked into thinking that there is another power working daily to find your weakness and destroy you. Nearly tricked in that moment, I remember, into thinking, here's the mind, layer on the meaning. What is wrong with me that I'm attracting this? Then I can't find a foothold in that. Then the mind will go to you. What is wrong with them that they are attracting this? And I remember even in that one, the reframe as you look within prayer. Oh, maybe it's not the disguise. Maybe it's not because there's something wrong with us. Maybe because we have so much love that this is the safest place for that to be expressed. Maybe it's the only place where it's possible for that healing to take place. And then we get to give in prayer and consciousness, for those people who are finding their way to love, and sometimes we are those people. I'm thinking about what's happening in our country right now. And what an opportunity that is to keep my mind fixed on God, to practice the first commandment. It doesn't matter what side of the discussion you find yourself on, but doesn't it matter that we keep the first commandment? And keep up the light of prayer for those people involved? For me, I need sometimes support, like for the practitioner's help and a prayer partner. Sometimes I can actually take a step back and I can see more of the wholeness, and I can sometimes see through them and they, and I can see through the disguises. Sometimes, I can see sometimes that they and them is only aspect of me and I and we, Everybody, sometimes that group is lost and wounded. Sometimes it's me. These ones trying to find their way home to be reawakened. And sometimes it's me that's lost, And you know what? I don't know how people handle the major setbacks in life. I don't know. But they do. In a way, I am amazed at the courage that the average person has to stand in life with the catastrophic fires and things that happen. And in a way, I'm less concerned about the big things than I am about the minor ones. Here's a story. On the slope of Long's Peak in Colorado lies the ruin of a gigantic tree. Naturalists tell us that it stood for some 400 years. It was a seedling when Columbus landed at San Salvador, half grown when the Pilgrims settled at Plymouth. During the course of its life, it was struck by lightning 14 times, and the innumerable avalanches and storms of 4 centuries thundered past it. It survived them all. In the end, however, it was beetles that leveled the tree.